Good morning or afternoon. Welcome to Yoga Online. I'm Elise Turner and hope you guys are enjoying these segments. I do want to briefly take a minute just to encourage you guys as we're going through these new times and new type of practice here online to email us and let us know what type of segments or what areas you'd like focused on. If you're needing a little bit more hips or shoulders, we can do some classes on specialization on those things. So I'm going to get you started going ahead and laying down a Shavasana as I always do, and we'll start our practice. Go ahead and lay down, finding that comfortable position. Again, wherever that is for you. If it's Shavasana, palms up. Again, feet gently splayed open at the end of the mat. And just finding that relaxation. Maybe wiggle your hips a little from side to side. And before we come into that full relaxation, I'm going to have you point your toes today, automatically causing our calves to tighten. Work your way up as you pull your kneecaps, tightening through your quads. Work your way up, tightening your glutes. Go ahead and start to make fists, feeling those forearms tighten, coming into your biceps. Pulling your shoulders as you tighten your belly, pulling your shoulders up towards your ears. And then go ahead and squeeze your face, making kind of a sourpuss face, tightening everything in your body. And then exhale. Just letting everything release. Again, feeling that fullness of letting go. And finding your breath, start slowing it down on your own. Coming to that 4 or 5 count. Inhaling fully, holding that breath at the top. And then exhaling fully. Pressing that breath out with your body, finding that Ujjayi breath as you constrict the back of your throat. And as we slow that breath, I want you to start finding an intention. An intention today may be focusing on the word relinquish. As we're finding ourselves right now in a time that we can't control, something completely unforeseen in this time of COVID where our lives are being turned completely upside down. But when we accept something and relinquish it to the world, we find peace with it. So over this next hour, start finding gratitude with the things that we do have, the beauty of our homes, maybe spending extra time with our kids, our animals, our space, that we're so rushed on a day-to-day basis, running here and there. But now we're able to enjoy our homes and our space. Maybe we do something new for that. And as you're looking at your body over the top of yourself, as though you're looking down, draw a circle around your body, knowing that the center of that circle is yourself, and that is your comfort zone. And that's where we've always been. And then I want you to take and draw a larger circle, about a foot outside of the circle you just drew. And that's our new comfort zone, that area we've not yet stepped into. And over this next hour, take our thoughts into relinquishing what we know and tiptoe into that new circle, finding a new self, an expanded comfort zone. One last deep breath. I want you to take and rotate those palms to the floor, pointing towards your heels as you draw your heels behind your glutes. And gently press those hips just into a small bridge position. Exhaling your hips down. Press that lower back into the mat, engaging those abdominals at the bottom. Inhale, press it up. Exhale, release down. Inhale up. Exhale it down. One more time, inhaling up, holding at the top. Walking those shoulder blades beneath your body. Reach those fingertips a little closer towards the heels. Maybe you can even touch your ankles today. Press those hips a little higher. And then just gently rock from side to side. Come a little bit onto the edges of your heels. Letting your hips kind of open from side to side. Feeling that lower back. Find a little bit of mobility. And slowly reach those fingertips skyward. Coming up over, really pressing weight into your heels and your shoulders. And then exhaling down, taking those hands, interlacing them beneath your body, pressing the palms together, again pulling a little deeper onto those shoulders. Press those hips higher, tightening through those quads. And slowly unlace those hands, drawing them out to a wide T position. As you drop those hips to the floor, pressing that lower back into the mat. I want you to inhale those feet skyward, pointing through those toes. Now, heels are drawn together. Again, tightening through those quads. Inhale those hands reaching towards the heels. Again, coming into those abdominal muscles. Exhale, open hands overhead, feet drop to the floor, hovering. Inhale it up. Exhale down, shoulders slightly coming off the mat when you're inhaling up. Inhale up. Exhale it down. One more time, inhaling up. Exhale, let that hover. Hands and feet off the ground. Pulling those hands to heart center, flutter through those feet. Again, finding that little movement. Chin is away from the chest. Again, tightening those abs, glutes are tightened also. For 3, and 2, and 1. Exhale those feet down. Inhale, hands overhead. Take that long body stretch, arching the back off the mat. Inhale, knees to chest. Exhale, extend, long body stretch. Inhale it in, hold that position, coming into a tight little ball, chin towards the chest, forehead reaching towards the knees. And then exhale those feet skyward again. Taking those hands, interlacing behind the neck. Again, we want to protect, letting that neck relax just a little bit. Exhale, drop that left foot, pull that right foot back towards you. Inhale, switch. Exhale, switch. Long, straight legs. Again, finding that pace. Toes are nicely pointed. Again, really finding that extension, waking up those hamstrings. Still working through those abs. Remembering with each transition, finding that breath, gently guiding that movement. One more time on each side. And inhale, hold those feet skyward. Exhale it down slowly. And roll slowly onto that right side. Immediately pressing up, coming to that side plank position. Now again, if we need to modify here, you can drop that kickstand, dropping that right knee, left hand extended overhead. If you can take that full extension, finding that, coming through those obliques, exhale that right hip. Inhale, reach it up, press that ribcage skyward, exhale it down. Inhale it up, really reach. 2 more, exhale it down. Inhale up. Last one, exhale it down. Inhale, hold it. Now whether you're modified in that kickstand or you're in that full plank, Challenge yourself. Maybe lift that foot. Maybe it's just an inch. Maybe it's down here. Maybe you're just holding that plank. Maybe it's in your practice to come to that full extension, finding that yogi toe hold. Again, listening to your body, making this your practice. And exhale it down. Rotate through, coming to that plank position. Wide starfish hands again to modify. Drop those knees. Finding that 45-degree angle. If you can find that full plank, exhale through 3 chaturanga push-ups. Inhale it, press it up. Now again, that modified version would look like this. Breathe it through. One last time, exhale it down. Inhale, press it through. Walk that left hand center, take it to the opposite side. Again, remembering those modifications if you need to. If you can find that full extension, exhale it down. Inhale, press it up. Exhale down. Inhale, really reach. 2 more times, exhale it down. Inhale up. Last time, exhale it down. Inhale, reach, hold that position. Now again, challenge yourself if you find it in your practice. Maybe lift that leg a little higher. Maybe you find that, again, full expression. Making this your practice each and every time. Breathe it through, take it back down. Exhale through, finding those 3 chaturanga push-ups. Elbows brushing along the rib cage. Roll over those toes and shoulders just a little bit. Find that strength. Exhale it down one last time. Inhale, press it through. Drop it all the way to the floor this time. Inhale, find that beautiful half cobra. Pressing it through. Again, elbows reaching to the back. And then press it into that full cobra. Dropping those hips, maybe just wag a little bit through it. Massaging that lower back, making sure those glutes aren't tightened. Bringing that stabilization back. Press as though your shoulders are reaching through those palms of the hand. And exhale it down, let those feet come off the mat. Elbows pointing towards the back again. Heels pressed together. Now again, coming into that lower back work, which is part of our core. Again, we always think of our belly and our abdominals, but we want to balance front and back to build that core strength, giving the stability to the spine. So this may be right where you want to stay right here. That modified Superman, if it's in your practice, maybe you want to bring those arms to a lotus position or that full expression of Superman. Exhale, press it back to lotus. Heels reach together. Inhale, reach it out. Exhale it back. Inhale forward. Last time, exhale it back. Inhale, reach it through. And drop it down. Palms come to the side. Extend up, find that strong tabletop position. And you may need to walk those feet, those knees out below the hips. Hands directly beneath the shoulders. Sometimes they feel like they're a little further back than they should be. Want them right there to build that strong platform. Round those shoulders down, back, and away from the ear. Coming through a few cat and cows. Press that spine skyward. Reaching that gaze towards the toes. Inhale, sweep it through. Finding that cow position. Rock those hips back and forth. Again, finding that belly dropping to the floor. And at your own pace, just find 3 or 4 cows and cats. Pulling that belly in. Breathing through. And one more time. Finding it back to that neutral position. I'm going to walk those knees forward. And we're going to just gently sit back on those feet, soles of the feet, tops of the feet come to the floor. And we're going to take those hands, interlacing them behind our back, pressing the palms together. Open that chest. We did a lot of arm work A lot of work through that shoulder. Again, pulling those shoulder blades as though you're trying to hold something between them. Lift that gaze skyward. And then gently lean that body forward, kind of like in a hero pose, dropping the crown of the head to the floor, and then gently raise those arms overhead. Now again, that may just be an inch or two, maybe a little bit more flexibility for some of us. Now, if you have a partner at home, a child, husband, friend, have them take your hands and just gently, you relax and have them pull that towards them. Again, allowing yourself to come deeper into, kind of like I would do in class if I were with you. And slowly exhale down as you draw the chest back up, finding that gaze skyward. Coming up onto those knees, release those hands, walk those knees out to hip distance apart. Now I'm going to do this sideways so you can see the extension back to the feet. Now, first option is to pop up onto those toes as we come into camel position. Now, I like to take and make fists and place those fists on your sacrum to protect that lower back. And then, not tightening those glutes, press the hips forward is that first movement. And then gently guide that gaze skyward, falling back into that. Again, protecting that lower back, using those fists to press in. Now this is your first option. Second option is to drop a hand down to an ankle. Maybe you want to lift that opposing hand skyward and then switch through to the other side. Or if it's in your practice, maybe you can drop both hands down to the ankles. Again, taking it at the pace you need to. Now if you're past this stage, the more advanced would be to drop down onto the tops of those feet, still reaching for those ankles, pressing those hips forward again in that full camel expression, dropping the crown of the head gently, protecting that neck. Making sure you can still breathe and aren't holding your breath. Now when you're ready to come out of this, find those fists back onto the sacrum bone, gently protecting that spine. Dropping down to that tabletop position, finding that counter position, rounding through a few cat and cows again. And the beauty of yoga is transitioning between those opposing postures. I'm going to have you just taking that tabletop position, making round circles. First starting with that left leg, opening through that hip. Belly is pulled into the spine. And then reverse that through, pulling it forward. Set that knee down, rotating back first through the opposite knee, that right knee now. Again, large circles. And then rotating that forward. Again, keeping that belly tight. Go ahead and setting that down, just swagging, waving through those hips again. And when you're ready, come back to neutral, placing those hands, rock back slowly, reach it forward, round back over those toes, finding that first amazing down dog of the day. Go ahead and pedal through those heels. Breathing through as we draw back a little bit, pressing the crown of the head towards the floor. Again, really dropping down between those shoulders. Wide starfish hands. Each digit of the fingers pressing into the floor. Feeling those calves open up. Now I always like to inhale up onto those toes, pressing that weight into there, maybe even bounce just a little bit gently. And then exhale with that breath. Reaching those heels to the floor. One more time, inhale it up. And exhale, press those heels back. Inhale, let that right leg fly. Now we're going to come through some hip and a little bit more abdominal work here. So we're going to take that rocking horse, inhaling forward, right knee to right elbow. Exhale, let it fly. Inhale forward. Exhale, let it fly. 2 more times. Inhale it forward. Exhale up. Inhale forward. Exhale up. On this next one, inhale, drop that foot, setting up to pigeon pose. Now again, we want to walk that left foot back. First, inhaling that body, lengthen through that spine, reach that gaze skyward, and then slowly bend through. First, pressing that left hip towards that ankle. That's where we're going to feel the release in that right hip. Now in this movement, you want to just relax through that right hip. We don't want that tightened. And this is one way to do it, is kind of rock into that left ankle. And then slowly take it to where your body feels comfortable. Maybe we can get down to our elbows today. Walk that left foot back a little bit and then slowly, again, maybe if you're a little more advanced, this would be a great place for a block. Maybe you rest your forehead in the block, or maybe you can take it all the way to the floor. Now we're going to stay in this posture for just a few moments. The reason is any type of lengthening or opening posture like this, we want to try to hold for at least 20 to 30 seconds. It kind of teaches our muscles to memorize this position, so as we're working on lengthening these tightened muscles such as hips, glutes, large muscle groups, gives them a chance to kind of remember where they were last time, and each time opening up that flexibility a little bit more. This is also a great place, I know we talked about with that open diamond position last week. If you've got a book and you're a reader, this is a great place to find a few minutes to read. Let that body do its work. One more deep breath here. And slowly lift up. Now again, making sure that opposing leg, that left leg, is directly behind you. We're going to slowly bend through, taking that left hand, reaching around, gently drawing in. Now again, finding that position. If it's in your practice, maybe you wrap that foot into that elbow, reaching that right arm around. Again, pulling through, opening up that quad. You feel that? Breathing through, and then slowly release it down. Now again, gently lifting through, because we've been in this posture for a while, gently lifting off that knee first, pulling back, finding that down dog position again, pedal through just a little bit, sway your hips from side to side. And inhale, let that left leg fly this time. Pressing that right heel towards the mat, inhale, reach it to the left elbow, exhale it back. Inhale forward, exhale it back. 2 more times. Inhale forward, exhale, breathe. One last time, inhale it forward, exhale, hold that position, and bring it forward, finding that pigeon on the opposite side, setting that up, again, parallel or as parallel as you can to the front edge of your mat. Again, roll that right hip now, maybe noticing a little bit of difference on both sides. Our bodies aren't always symmetrical. Roll that right hip towards that right foot, release that left hip, relax that leg, and then slowly find out where on this side our body will allow us, maybe bending through the elbows, maybe coming to that full expression again, dropping the top of the right foot. Walk that belly forward. Again, really use that weight to press in. Checking in, make sure you're relaxed through that hip. We want to tighten that many times. Don't do that. Let it go. Let that relax so that muscle can lengthen, that hip can open, especially right now when we're probably all working from home and we're tight, we're sitting probably in front of computers. Give that body a time to open back up. Breathe through. 1 or 2 more deep breaths here. And slowly press back up onto this opposite side. Again, make sure that right leg is long behind you. Reach back through. And again, draw that towards the body. Again, maybe it's in your practice to reach overhead, pulling all the way through. Interlacing those fingertips. If not, another modification, you can use a hand towel here, holding that, helping get a little closer. And over time, finding that hand. And slowly release down. Pressing those hands down, lifting through that knee, find that down dog again. Ready to find a little bit of vinyasa flow here. Go ahead and move through those hips. Inhale it forward. Find that chaturanga. Exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, breathe it back. Find a deep breath here. Now we're going to flow through that vinyasa a few times just to build some heat in our body before we begin a little more accelerated part of our practice. Inhale it forward. Exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Now again, find 2 or 3 more of those on your own breath. If you want to go a little bit slower, that's fine. Remembering we're trying to build heat here. So we want to use the transition of that breath a little bit quicker. But find your pace. Last time through. Exhale it down. Look between those hands. Let that right leg fly. Inhale, step it through. Coming to that low lunge position. Now, find that position first. Drop that knee, press it up, reaching both hands onto that right quad. Drop it down, pressing through that left hip. You can even take that palm on the hip, reaching forward and lengthening through that hip flexor. Inhaling, arms overhead. Maybe find a little slight back bend. Inhale it back. Come up onto that toe, finding that high lunge. Breathing it through. Step it through to chair pose. Now again, find those toes, sit those hips back, inhale it up. Exhale, back bend. Inhale up. Exhale, chair. Come to that twisted chair. Left elbow comes over that right knee. Inhale it back to center. Inhale up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Hinge at those hips. Step that right foot back, left to meet it. Come through your chaturanga. Exhale it down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Find that breath. Beautiful. Inhale, let that left leg fly. Look between those hands. Walk it through, finding that low lunge. Again, first press that right heel back, drop that knee down. Bringing both palms now onto that left quad. Slowly press it forward on this side. Again, remembering you can use that hand to guide that hip, using that little bit of extra weight. Inhale it back slightly, come up onto that toe. Inhale those arms, take it to that high lunge. Breathe through, drop those shoulders down into their pockets. Inhale, step it to chair. Now again, look back, find those toes. Inhale it up. Exhale, back bend. Inhale up. Exhale, find that chair. Come through twisted chair. Right elbow comes over the left knee this time. Beautiful rotation. Find that gaze at the sky if your practice will allow it. Sit those hips down just a little bit more. Inhale back to center. Take it up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale the half lift. Just a quick break here. Exhale, forward fold. Step that left foot back, right foot to meet it. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Find 1 or 2 deep breaths here. I'm going to take that series one more time on each side. Again, palms are pressing into the floor. Inhale that right foot. Exhale, step it through, low lunge. Drop that knee. Inhale it up, top of the left foot comes to the floor, press it through. Release that hip. Inhale back. Take those arms, pop up under that foot, find that high lunge, shoulders coming down. Inhale, hands to heart center. Find that prayer pose in chair. Look at those toes, press it back. Inhale up, exhale, back bend. Inhale up, exhale, chair. Take it right through that twist, left elbow over the right knee. Again, really wringing out the abdominal area. Great for digestion. Inhale back to center. Exhale up. And release, swan dive forward. Inhale the half lift. Exhale, palms to the floor. Right foot steps back. Left to meet it. Chaturanga. Exhale it back. Finding a couple deep breaths here one last time. On the opposite side. Let that left leg fly. Inhale, step it through, low lunge. Drop that right knee, bring it up onto the left quad. Press that right hip forward. Release that gaze. Inhale it up, take it to that high lunge. Exhale those hands to heart center, step it through chair, find those toes, inhale it up. Exhale, back bend. Inhale up. Exhale, back down to chair. Take it to that twisted chair. Right elbow over that left knee this time. Belly pulled in, sit those hips down. Breathe it through again and really rotate through that waist. Inhale, back to heart center. Exhale it up. Swan dive forward, deep belly. Inhale the half lift. Exhale, step that left foot back, right to meet it. Coming through that final chaturanga. Inhale, and widen those knees. Exhale, back to child's pose. Now again, rock those hips. Let that chest really drop between the knees. Walk those fingertips forward. Again, just feeling the heat, appreciating that in your body. So that will work. A little bit of additional heat and movement there. And in our next segment, we're going to try a little bit of plyometrics. So I'll show you some modifications, but if you've been sitting at home too long and you need a little bit of extra cardio, we're going to step up that next segment a little bit. I want you to slowly lift that gaze, reaching up to those hands, interlacing those fingertips around the crown of the head into those palms, and just gently roll that chin towards the chest, using that body weight. Just gently pressing forward. You don't want too much pressure on that neck. Just slowly lengthening through that back of the neck a little bit into the shoulders. And gently, slowly rock back. Coming into those palms, press it forward and release back to that down dog. Look between the hands, walk or jump to the top of your mat, finding that forward fold. Now again, really releasing down. Inhale the half lift, press it up. Exhale, forward fold. Slight bend in those knees. Inhale, reverse swan. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, half lift. One more time. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, slight bend in those knees. Find that reverse position. Interlace those hands. Release that gaze forward. Step it back. Finding that open warrior two position. Now again, we want that back leg parallel with the edge of the mat. Front knee pulled out slightly, arms long and beautiful. Finding a little bit of movement through our posture. So press that left hand down, reach that right palm over an extended side angle. Now again, we're lifting from that rib cage, pulling up here. Palms towards the floor. Beautiful side stretch. Inhale it back. Reverse warrior. Now again, that right hand can either come to the back leg, or if it's in your practice, reach around for that left quad. Slight back bend. And we're going to go through those three postures 2 more times, but on a 1 breath count. So inhaling back up to that warrior two. Exhale, side, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Inhale it up, warrior two. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, cartwheel those hands down. Rotate that back foot, step it in. Coming to that pyramid pose. So all 10 toes are going to face forward, but our feet are going to be about hip distance apart. We don't want to align those feet, we'll tip over. We want those feet at hip distance apart. Now again, this may be a great place to pull a block in, to reach in front of you. If not, you can also use that shin, but we want to pull that right hip forward. We're focusing on this left quad, the left hamstring. And so it's a muscle that's very tight typically, we don't use often other than to work it. So then we're going to slowly walk forward, dropping our belly towards our quad. Breathing through that pigeon pose while we keep pulling that right hip forward. Relaxing through that left leg. Breathe through. Slowly step it forward, coming into that warrior three. So we're first going to set that up, and then you're slightly going to bend through your knee. This is going to challenge you. Pull those hands to heart center, press back up through that knee. Inhale it through warrior three. Now again, modifications would be to take those wing-spanned arms or airplane arms back by the hips. Full expression would be coming forward. Exhale, slowly down, reaching that right foot skyward, coming to that standing splits. Now again, remembering that standing splits does not necessarily mean a splits. That's where we're headed over time. Maybe this posture looks like this for you. Again, we're working those hamstring muscles on this segment. So as that flexibility and that hamstring opens up, our bodies have more and more less limitations and can come higher. Exhale it down, breathe it through forward fold, and reach it down into squatted chair, extending those arms forward, press those hips back. Inhale it, reach it up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale the half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up. Interlace those hands, taking that same segment on the opposite side. Step that right foot back, taking it to warrior two. So again, now we want to remember that back foot parallel. We don't ever want that knee over that ankle. So make sure if that knee is not over that ankle, kind of walk that foot forward or back and then drop down into that. That torso is over the pelvis, so we're pressing through. Wide arms, strong, reaching for opposing direction. Find that drishti gaze over that middle finger. Exhale that elbow down, reach it up, finding that extended side angle. Again, palm comes to the floor. We're reaching up through that rib cage. Breathe it through. And exhale it back, coming to that reverse warrior. Arm comes down the back, reaches around. Body rotates forward. And then finding that segment on a 1 breath count. Inhale it up. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse. One more time, inhale it up. Exhale. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, cartwheel those hands down. Walking that back foot, stepping it in for that pyramid pose. Again, feet are about 2 or 3 feet apart. Pull that left hip forward. Recognize any differences you have on both sides. My hamstring today is a little bit tighter on this right side, so be a little bit more gentle. Exhale it down. Again, maybe this posture just looks like this for you right now. If you're feeling that, that's okay. As we lengthen through those muscles, we have more and more flexibility. That's where we're aiming, but not where we have to be today. Again, inhale up, take that belly to the quad. Slowly walk that transition through, taking that left foot back, then through that knee, press it up to warrior three. Extending that out and remembering those modifications. Roll that left hip so it's balanced with the floor. Again, reaching through. And then slowly exhale, finding that standing splits. Exhale it down. Inhale through reverse. Exhale, hands to heart center. Now I'm going to come towards you here. So we're going to take a couple balance postures today. So since you're at the liberty of being at home, you can do whatever you need to do to make these postures a little bit more fun. So we're going to work on some crow postures today. So I'm going to show you first crow, which majority of you already know how to do. So first we want to take those feet about a little bit more than hip distance apart. And what we're doing is we're creating kind of a tabletop with the back of our triceps. So the deeper we can get into that posture and have a place for our shins to sit, the more likelihood we'll be successful in this posture. Now I'm going to show you from the front, then also from the side, because this is a great place to use a block also. So we're going to bend through those elbows, popping up onto those toes. Now that'll give you a little bit more leverage to get those shins right on the back of the triceps. And then just sit forward in your weight in those triceps. Now maybe today you're just kind of picking up one toe at a time, but the trick is you want to lift your gaze about 3 feet in front of you. Our tendency when we're doing crow is to look down, and what our body does then is we tip forward. So bringing that gaze out in front of you is what helps make this position successful. Sometimes I have students bring a block in front of them and put their chin on it to help with that balance, because this posture is really more about balance than it is about strength. And then just gently lift those toes. Now again, from the side, this posture looks like this. So coming up onto those shins, bending through those elbows to find a little platform, and then reach that gaze forward. Now try it at home. You can also stack some pillows in front of yourself, but if you look down, I almost immediately fall down because the weight of your head is quite a bit. So you're balancing your body weight to find this position. So reach that gaze forward and tilt that body up, finding that position. If you're more advanced and you want to take it to that next step, when you're into crow position, come into a crow kickback. So fire those feet back, finding that plank. Again, we've always got some place to go in yoga. Then I'm going to have you try today. We're going to try side plank. So we're going to take those hands next to us, much like we did on the first. We're going to try to create a little platform for the side of our quad. So we're going to come onto either side that feels comfortable, kind of creating that little platform. Feet are closely pulled together, and then as you bend through those elbows, lift those feet. Again, finding that side crow position, testing it on both sides. You may have a more favored side. That's typical in our bodies. So maybe give it a little shot on both sides. And give yourself a few extra minutes to play around with those. I'm going to also have you come up, inhaling up. And you can pause the video and keep trying that crow pose. Hands come to heart center. And then we're just going to try a little leg extension today. So I'm going to have you first lift that leg, pulling it out to the side, hips tucking in. Maybe this is right where you want to be. Now if you want to go to that next step, again, balancing with that left hand to the side, taking that yogi toe hold, or maybe wrapping a towel around your foot, and extend through that leg. Now over time, again, more advanced, lifting through. But again, maybe today that's just holding that position. Slightly pulling that knee back in. Inhaling, knee forward. Taking that left hand on the outside of that right leg, right palm comes behind us. Follow that gaze. And bring that gaze back around. Hands to heart center, inhale it up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Taking that on to the opposite side, keeping our bodies balanced. And take that out to the side, pressing those hips forward. Again, finding that arm through balance. And then either keeping it right there or finding that yogi toe hold. Extending through, holding there. Or again, testing that balance. Inhaling back forward, take that right palm over that left leg. Inhaling that left arm back, following it with our gaze. And sweeping it back forward. Exhaling it down. Inhaling through reverse. Exhaling, swan dive it forward. Find those glutes coming down to the heels. And slowly sitting down. We're going to find a few more postures on the floor. Just stretching before we close out. So I'm going to face towards you. Whatever direction you are on the mat that feels comfortable, that's totally fine. And today we're going to come through Lotus. We don't often come into Lotus, so whichever leg feels comfortable, taking that into that inner thigh, and then finding that opposite foot. Now again, you might need some guidance with your hands, gently drawing in. Now if we don't have the ability to do that, again, just opening up those hips, maybe stacking those feet. bringing that open. But again, pressing through those hips if you have that ability to do Lotus. Again, dropping down, really feeling that hip opening. We've been focusing a lot today on hips just because we're sitting so much, most likely right now, working indoors. Palms on the knees. And when you're ready, slowly release those feet down. And we're going to come into into seated cow pose. So what we are going to want to do is take all of our glutes on the floor. We're stacking our knees directly on top of each other. So then we want to kind of walk our feet up. If we look down, we understand why this is called cow pose, because it looks like the old Indian cow with the hump on the head and the two ears and horns. So if this is where you can stay, that's fine. Again, this is a deep hip opener coming into those hip flexors. If it's in your practice to bend down, kind of walk forward using that body weight to press down into those knees and feel how that releases those hips. Slowly pressing up out of that, reversing that knee that's on the bottom to the opposing knee, coming back on top. Again, remembering to move a little bit of real estate, find those both glutes on the floor, stacking those knees, and then testing maybe this side, exhaling deeply through. Ready, slowly raising up, coming back, rolling onto those hips, and just one last shoulder opener, kind of rolling back over onto that tabletop position, inhaling that right arm skyward, exhaling, sweeping it underneath, kind of threading that needle, pressing those hips back, rolling into that right shoulder. And on this next breath coming up, inhale that left arm skyward. Exhale, thread it beneath the body. Again, sitting back, rolling and pressing that weight into that left shoulder. Slowly releasing forward. We're right here, so walk those palms forward. Just gently drop those hips down. Inhale one last time to beautiful cobra pose. Raising that gaze. You're maybe taking those feet wider on the mat, toes out to the edge. Really pressing those hips to the floor, reach that gaze. And slowly release back. Dropping that left hip to the floor, sweep those feet forward. Reach those hands forward and slowly, one vertebrae at a time, exhale it down. Inhale those arms overhead. And then sweep the meringue, coming to that final Shavasana. Again, lifting each limb, finding that perfectly comfortable place. Letting that breath go. Maybe cataloging through your mind as we lay here for the next few moments. What did you or what are you going to relinquish? What frustrations do you have right now with being homebound? Maybe feeling trapped, the unknown of when all this is going to end and what the final outcome will be, and viewing towards the positivity of what catastrophes like this can create for us in helping us find our true strength, our resilience, our resourcefulness of how to keep ourselves occupied or full of gratitude, making us stronger and forcing us to step beyond our comfort zone into that next circle, making our comfort zone larger. One last deep breath here. Begin to rub your thumb across your fingertips and wiggle your toes. And on your own time, roll onto your right side, finding yourself back to a comfortable seated position. Those glutes sitting on those heels, again rock from side to side. You place both your hands on the left side of your legs, dropping your hips to the right. Inhaling back to center. And just gently spider walk those hands over to the opposite side, drop those hips to the left. And inhale it back to center. Bring those hands to heart center. I want you to inhale up onto those knees, finding yourself larger than your situation. As you exhale, draw that energy back to heart center, knowing that we are resourceful, creative, and abundant creatures, and that we will rebound from this stronger and more wise than previously. Wise towards others, compassionate towards others as well as ourselves, and be a better person. Namaste.